5 years since a fatal gang rape of a young woman by 6 men on a bus in New Delhi caused global outrage. The crime prompted thousands to protest rising sex attacks in the city, calling for new laws and more enforcement, and also raising a long overdue debate about gender-based hate crimes. 5 years on, the Thomson Reuters Foundation recently named the Indian capital, along with Brazil's Sao Paulo, as the world's worst megacity for sexual violence against women. For more, let's speak to Catherine Bennett from the France 24 Observers. You reported on this crisis, and notably on one effort to improve the situation called Building Bonds. What is this program?
Well, it's a training program designed to stop harassment on Delhi's public transport, so with drivers of auto rickshaws, buses and taxis. It was launched by the Manners Foundation, which is a mental health charity, in 2014, after the very widely publicised rape case when an Uber driver raped his passenger. And since then, they've partnered with the Indian government, and the Indian government has actually made it mandatory for all drivers to follow this training in order to renew their licences every year.
And how does it operate? It's difficult to change these sort of long entrenched notions about male roles and female roles in society.
Well, I spoke to two of the trainers who run these 2-hour training sessions. And of course, they go through the laws of sexual harassment in the country and the potential punishments involved. But mostly it's about changing the driver's behaviour. So they use techniques from mental health studies, actually. They start with brainstorming sessions to talk about gender stereotypes. And this is meant to make the drivers aware of their own prejudices. And with that awareness, they're then more able to change it. So, for instance, the drivers may believe that women shouldn't travel by themselves or they shouldn't commute across the city at night. And, of course, the trainers will respond with, well, then how will you get work? Because women make up 70% of their passengers. So if women didn't have jobs, then nor would the drivers.
Right. It poses a problem that needs something to be addressed to it. But what has the reaction been from the drivers themselves?
Well, one of the things that the drivers often ask is, why us? Why do we have to be trained? And of course, that is because of the number of these very high-profile rape cases involving drivers on public transport, and the government has to be seen to be doing something. What's interesting to note is that these drivers are often actually internal migrants, so they come from the countryside, and they've only ever seen women in domestic roles. So to come to the capital and see young women wearing short skirts, being drunk, going out with their boyfriends, well, of course, it's really shocking for them. And so what the Manners Foundation tries to do is to explain to them that society is changing and they have to change along with it. One of the other questions that is frequently asked is apparently, what should I do if a woman is deliberately being provocative? And for them, this means that she's drunk, she's wearing a revealing dress, or even just that she's overly friendly. And of course, part of the training is to tell them that women are allowed to make these choices. And as a driver, they have only one responsibility, and that's to get the woman where she needs to go.
And real quickly, what happens once the drivers finish this training?
So each of the drivers is given a sticker or a badge to display in their vehicle, which says, I respect women, or as well as this vehicle, I also drive a campaign to end violence against women. The foundation does regular follow-ups with the drivers just to keep reinforcing the training that they've had. And external evaluations say that 81% of drivers say that their behaviour has changed as a result of the training. And then, of course, on an anecdotal level, there's been a hugely positive response from women who take public transport.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Catherine Bennett from the France 24 Observers. And you can read her report on our website, france24.com.